and check my phone. 10 bands hit my broker, made a flip while home alone. You still saving up for shares? That's a broke boy strategy. Lame! I'm out here buying blocks, turning runners into salary. You hedge too much, that's why your gains look anorexic. I let my nuts swing, whole account looking reckless. You reading analyst notes? Boy, that's fucking sad. Why? I just follow one line straight up to the bag. You holding for a breakout? I'm sniping every wick. You're setting stop losses, I just let it hit. You still trading based on news, man, you lost as hell. I just follow price action, got this game on spell.
Witchcraft.
Get that money, run it up, stack it high, flip it twice. Stack it. Ain't no patience, I need profits, fuck a long-term price. Too slow. Too slow. Every candle look like dollars, every trade a fucking win. If I lose, I double down, make it back and laugh again. Get that money, print that paper, turn my trades to golden rings. Texas Roadhouse with the profits, throw my way to 20 things. I don't chase no weak momentum, I just chase these fucking checks. You still trading scared? Get your broke ass off my set. Get out! Made a rack this morning, now I'm posted up at Roadhouse. Ordered every steak, told the waiter bring the whole cow. Butter on my bread like how my pockets keep inflating. You eating off the value menu, boy, you ain't relating. Let me tell you about a trade, put 50 on a straddle. Market gap that open, send my balance to Seattle. You playing penny stocks, man, that's cute, that's real adorable. I just shorted Tesla, turned a fanboy to a corpse fool. You in Discord asking what's the next big move. I'm already out, y'all still stuck on what to do. My chart look like fireworks, every bar is lit. Your trades look like my dinner, Texas Roadhouse shit. Flush it. I'm printing, my fingers got ink. Your account in the red while I'm flooding the sink. You cry about a loss, I just double my bet. You hedge like a bitch, I go all in. Chart that bastard's red. Bought the dip with a crooked grin. Now the whole damn thing's running again. Suit on TV says panic and hide, but panic's for fools on the losing side. I lit a smoke and slam by more while the bulls kick down the market door. Hear the bastards yell its doom, but the green keeps filling the room. If the candle dips, we load the gun and fire that bastard till it we're making green tonight, boys. Drunk on risk and market noise. Raise a pint to the filthy scene. Rob the street and call it green. I let the candle scream and lean. We'll drink their tears while making green. Connor bed rent on a Friday call. Now he drinks like a king at the pub hall wall. Bears keep crying, crash collapse, while we stack their coins in greasy stacks. Every guru preaching fear and doom can shove that sermon up his room. We ride the chaos loud and mean, laughing all the way to green. Hear the traders curse and shout, but the money keeps pouring out. If the dip comes down like rain, we'll buy that bastard up again. We're making green tonight, boys. Drunk on risk and market noise. and green tonight, boys. Raise the roof with market noise. Drink it down till the screens go clean. Long live the lads who ride the green. Oi! Let the candles scream obscene. We'll rob the street and call it green. Oi!
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where we have a little bit of a St. Patrick's Day celebration going on. Hello. It's a beautiful Tuesday. I hope it's sunny and warm wherever you are. I don't think it's too warm where I am, but it's definitely sunny, and I hope we're going to have a green day. I hope it's not only green in your Guinness, green in your eggs, but I hope it is also simultaneously green in your accounts. And I do have a little bit of positive news for all of you. If you haven't seen the pre-market action quite yet, things are looking green. So the bulls are showing up. We're taking out some key levels, and the question now is are we going to get some follow through? I know yesterday was a bunch of a nothing burger. Hopefully you didn't get chopped alive. I took one solid trade in the morning and I called it a day. Very, very happy about that, because if I kept trading, I probably would have been ripping my hair out. So I'm hoping today's a little bit different. Not only do I hope we get a nice trend, but I hope I could get in on that trend relatively early and ride it. So very excited to see what the price action is of the day. And of course, maybe, just maybe, knock on wood, we can have a little bit of luck of the Irish in our trading today. So I'm going to be breaking down all the major news that you might have missed from this morning, from last night, from yesterday, kind of giving you guys a holistic picture. Then we're going to dive into the overall market. Then we're going to dive into some individual equities. Then we're getting into the specifics, some day trading setups. We have a little bit of drama that we can chit chat about a little bit later on. And then hopefully the market opens, we all make some good trades, get our money, and call it an early Tuesday and go to our local Irish pub. That's the show. I hope that sounds good to all of you. I hope you guys are ready. In all reality, whatever these glasses are, they don't necessarily make it the easiest to read chat. It's doing I don't know if they're polarized or not polarized or what's going on with my screen, but I'm having a little bit of a tough time reading this, so we might have to move these ones up a little bit just so I can actually read whatever the hell is going on. Well, that doesn't look right. That I look like a crazy person. Well, I also look like a crazy. No matter what we do, we're looking like a crazy person today. Folks, I do appreciate you joining me at the crack of dawn today. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. If you're in here, whenever you chat, whenever you hit that like button, whenever you engage, it really does help me out with the algorithm overlords that run my life on Rumble and YouTube and everything in between. And if you're watching this and you like live day trading, if you like the other channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you don't want to miss any of that content, there's a bell icon, once again, on both services. You click on that, turn your notifications on, and you shouldn't be missing any of that content. So if you want to help me out, if you want to just say thank you, that's probably the best way to do it. Like, subscribe, say hi to your favorite pal in chat. And with that in mind, let's get rocking. Let's switch this up. Stock futures fall as oil prices turn higher once again. Well, I feel like the intern at CNBC as of 6:30 this morning should get fired, because we are looking real green right now. S&P 500 futures rise slightly as market tries to continue rebound from Iran conflict turmoil. There's been a big switch up in the current state of the conflict in Iran, and we were talking about it a little bit in Discord this morning, and I don't want to bury the lead here or anything. I might have missed this particular chapter in Sun Tzu's Art of War, but the recent attack on Iran does not involve missiles. It does not involve financial sanctions. It is actually much more akin to middle school bullying on the playground, a little bit of recess level bullying, where the latest attack on Iran actually involves calling the current Ayatollah gay. Your mic is not broke. I did not misspeak. You heard me properly. Yes, folks. The recent attacks on Iran are coming directly from the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and the recent attacks directly implicate the Ayatollah of liking men. So it's a bold move. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Like I said, I did not read this particular chapter. I missed it when I was reading The Art of War. But hey, maybe President Trump has a particular chapter that we didn't read. Maybe it's not publicly available. So things are heating up. The fact that we're in a world where this was a later attack and we first sent missiles, as in almost as if like it's more severe to call the Ayatollah gay than bomb the entire country. What a world we live in. What a world we live in. So, like I said, don't want to bury the lead, but apparently the combination of the Iranian supreme leader being gay and St. Patrick's Day, the market's loving it because we are pippity popping to the upside. Right now, you can see it. SPY pretty much at the high from yesterday. The Q's almost there. Bitcoin coming down a little bit, but it did pop over 75,000 yesterday. Oil popping up to about 98, coming down to 94. And also we see volatility chilling out a little bit. Not too long ago, we were at 26 and now we're all the way down to 22. Let me put myself over here so you can see that a bit better. Volatility coming down, equities going up. Folks, we are risk on. Israel invades Lebanon, opening new front against Iran. Ground operation targeting Hezbollah widens a regional war and threatens to strain Israel's military resources. So from a not so comedic standpoint, it's getting worse. The tensions are boiling over. It is spreading. It's not going so well, team. Israel says Iran's security chief was killed in airstrikes. So I'm not even going to I'm not going to even try to say this last name, but he was a central figure in Tehran, which is the capital of Iran. Aggressive military response to U.S.-Israeli attacks. Well, he was taken out in airstrikes. So big update there. War escalates with Israel targeting top Iran officials.
Help from other nations to secure the Strait of Hormuz as the war disrupts global shipping in oil markets. Meanwhile, Iran has stepped up attacks on energy infrastructure, setting a massive gas field ablaze in the UAE. Bloomberg Horizon's Middle East and Africa anchor Jumana Basachi joins us from Dubai. Jumana, take us through the latest developments.
Well, I think you have to look at just what's happened in the last 24 hours in terms of Iran's specific targets now. And it's quite clear that as it pertains to the UAE, they are going after strategic energy hubs and logistic hubs as well. Just overnight, we got word that the UAE airspace has been temporarily halted. It's been closed. This, of course, after another incident at Dubai International Airport yesterday, which led to the suspension of flights. In addition to that, they have now targeted the Shah gas field in the UAE as well. This is a notable gas field. It's responsible for the production of about 20% of UAE's total gas, about
March 15th,
about 5%, I should say, of the world's supply of that type of gas as well, sulfur gas. And it's also quite notable because it is a gas field that the Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, visited back in 2025 when he was in the region. So they've hit a gas field. They've also had another attempted hit at Fujairah. That is the port that we've been covering and talking about over the course of the last few days, key strategic port on the Gulf of Oman, in addition to a strike on Ruwais refinery a week ago as well. So they continue to target these energy infrastructure hubs. And at this point, Hazlanda, it's fair to say that this is, the energy shock that we're seeing in the region is not only about securing the safe passage of these ships through the Strait of Hormuz, but also they're targeting now the actual source of energy supply, which means that they've taken it to a whole other level of escalation.
Always an awkward
and of course,
pause.
Joanna, we heard from President Trump himself asking for help to monitor the Strait of Hormuz, allies not coming forward at all.
Yeah, they're all saying, nah.
No, indeed not, Hassan. It's pretty notable that the Europeans were pretty quick to put down the notion of participating. The likes of France, Germany, Spain, Greece, all saying that they are not going to take on this offer. The UK standing pat for now. But I think the key one, obviously, is that some of those Asian buyers of Iranian oil. We haven't necessarily heard official comments yet from China. But what we do know is that
allies
on
resist
back
Trump's
of
removes
the latest
plan.
developments, President Trump has alongside China postponed that summit that was supposed to take place in a couple of weeks' time, could potentially be on back of some disagreements regarding the logistics. Unclear at this point, but it is very unlikely, per say Japan Ministry of Defense, said that they too would sign up to this. They say that the threshold would be extremely high because the calculus from their part is, even though this oil is important to them, why would they run the risk of putting their own vessels in a security danger at risk of being attacked? And so for the foreseeable future, even though Trump is pushing hard and demanding that his allies come to the help in terms of securing the safe passage of vessels, we don't have firm confirmation that any one of those countries is looking to sign up to his plan.
All right. I actually thought that was a pretty useful breakdown of the current situation as of pretty much last night, not necessarily as of this morning. But from there, obviously, as you can imagine, there are other pretty important related things occurring simultaneously. Iran targets UAE energy infrastructure as gas fields set ablaze. Tanker struck near the strait. Iran has launched a fresh wave of attacks on the United Arab Emirates energy and transportation infrastructure, amplifying fears of global energy crisis. Drone attacks were reported to have caused fires at the UAE's blah, 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 while other tankers were struck near the strait. Oil prices were trading higher on the news, but since then they have abated. Oil jumps 4% as doubts linger over U.S.-backed plan to protect Strait of Hormuz shipping. So that was as of last night, but once again, since then, things are already calming down, which kind of shows you the speed at which this situation is developing, at least within the markets. So at one point yesterday, things were red in the equities market, they were green in the commodities market, volatility was up, and then as of 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago until market open this morning, things have completely reverted. So we're seeing a lot of, I suppose, flippant nature from the commentary of the president of the United States, Mr. Trump here. Not too long ago, it's pretty much over. This is not going to go on long. We've pretty much blown up everything that we could blow up. It's going to be over. And now he's kind of backpedaling this. This is commentary from yesterday that actually we're not that close to this being over.
If Iran, as you said, totally obliterated, got the missiles, got the first 2 rounds of leadership, Air Force gone, Navy gone, can we wrap this war up this week?
Yeah, sure. Good.
Will we?
I don't think so, but it'll be soon. Won't be long. And we're going to have a much safer world when it's wrapped up. It'll be wrapped up soon. We're going to have a much safer world. I had an obligation to do this. I didn't want to. I call it an excursion. I didn't want to make this journey. We had the highest stock market in history.
The old excursion.
We had low gas prices. Everything was good. And I know exactly. I know what, you're going to do it. And people are going to raise the price of oil. And that's good. But I know that. But that's a very small thing compared to allowing them to have. You want to see a stock market go down? Start letting them hit you with nukes. Okay? I think, I said it this morning, I think it's a very small price to pay.
How is this backpedaling? Didn't he originally say 4 to 5 week timeline? Nope, that's not wrong at all. That's probably what you heard, but what he originally said was simultaneously 4 to 5 weeks, but also was going to be done in the first week. So he straddled both of it. So, I guess what you're saying is technically right. That was a statement out of his mouth, but then also in pretty much the same conversation, he said it would be a week or less and that it was pretty much over. So it's easy to be perpetually right when you're saying everything, but then also inherently you're always going to be perpetually wrong because you said the exact same things or the exact opposite things. But with that in mind, there are a lot of other wild comments flying right now. Trump says he thinks he will have the honor of taking Cuba. So this was stated yesterday. President Donald Trump yesterday said Monday that he thinks he will have the honor of taking Cuba. This is obviously very much going to piss off Russia. Trump last month launched a war in Iran, and earlier this year captured the Venezuela leader. Trump has mused repeatedly about taking over Cuba or coming to a deal with the Caribbean nation to ease relations. Once again, this is a specific jab at Russia. The Venezuela-Iran thing seems to be a specific jab at China. So let's see how this one plays out. But before you know it, we might be involved in a whole nother, I guess, particular escalation. And just when you thought you've heard it all, just when you thought, okay, yeah, I think I've heard all the, I guess, hyperbolic, obtuse statements from the president, he always brings us in a new record-breaking commentary. I don't even want you guys to read that, but I do want you guys to listen. Well, hang on. First of all, listen to this one.
When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba.
In some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation. When will the United States?
All right. So right there, I want you to know that I'm not just reading headlines to you. The headline wasn't taken out of context. If anything, I think the headline was being a little bit generous to his actual commentary. So like, hey, honor of take it, freeing them. So that was all stated yesterday. Who knows what's going to go on there? And once again, that's like going to be uniquely pissing off Russia. And obviously he didn't stop there. This is just... I don't even know what to say about this. I want to make sure the volume's good, but...
President Trump was stunned to learn that U.S. intelligence indicates new Iranian Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei may be gay, and that his father, the late Ayatollah...
Breaking. The newest front of this particular war is on the side of LGBT, and Trump officially announcing that we have evidence suggesting that the Ayatollah is in fact gay. Wow. You think you saw everything in the front of war in the modern era, but here we are.
Ali Khamenei feared his suitability to rule the Islamic Republic for that reason. The Post can reveal.
Goats make you gay?
Trump couldn't contain a surprise and laughed aloud when he was briefed on the intel, according to sources. Others in the room also
they're literally
found it,
making
quote,
fun of him.
hilarious and joined the president's reaction, while one senior intelligence official has not stopped laughing about it for days, said one person familiar with the briefing. The shocking claim was described to the Post by two intelligence community officials and a third person close to the White House. All three sources say the implausible-sounding allegation is viewed as credible by U.S. spy agencies. Two of the sources said the intelligence indicates that Mojtaba has had a long-term sexual relationship with his childhood tutor. The third source said the intelligence indicated the affair was with a person who formerly worked for the Khamenei family. Mojtaba, who is believed to have been wounded in the same February 28th airstrike that killed his father and other members of his family, has made aggressive sexual overtures to men caring for him, possibly while under the influence of heavy medication, one of the Post sources said. U.S. spy agencies do not have photographic evidence of the 56-year-old's alleged sexual attraction to men, but the sources insisted the tip is solid, with one saying it was derived from one of the most protected sources that the government has. The fact that this was elevated to the highest of high levels shows you there's some confidence in this, added a second source.
There you have it, folks. Some pretty high caliber breaking news. You know, I always think that the version of the simulation that we're living in is pretty wild. And I feel like the alien running our simulation accidentally moved the knob to 10 and like went out to go grab a coffee and it's like, oh crap, like I forgot about that. And now I'm starting to think that they somehow snapped the knob off and we're just operating at like 20 out of 10 in terms of insanity. I don't even know what to say about it. That's the current state of war in the modern era of 2026 is that the U.S. government officials and our spy syndicates are laughing at the fact that they have alleged evidence that the Ayatollah is gay. And the one guy has been laughing for days about it. That's what we're at right now. He's like, dude, here we are in the middle of slinging bombs, worrying about our energy source and like actual stability and peace within the Middle East. And the entire U.S. government got derailed for some recess level bullying of finding out that he's gay. So, and of course, it's not just them. The entire world started running with it. Ayatollah disappointed to learn 72 virgins awaiting him in paradise are all women. Dude, what the fuck is this? Like, what is going on in our world right now? That this is what we have to cover. You know, back when I was a wee lad and I had these like dreams of running my own finance show and talking to you guys about the intricate complications of the global economics and tensions and local markets and trade and this and that, to see what my career has become, to realize that it's at the point of like, for me to cover this major news, it's just talking about the jokes calling the supreme leader gay. Where did I go wrong in life, folks? What a curveball. All right, back to the market. There's nothing scheduled today, but to be fair, there's nothing scheduled yesterday. We got some of the biggest updates ever, so you never know. With respect to individual equities, there's no, like, we're technically done with earnings season. There's still a couple you might care about, so feel free to screenshot this. I do want to call out Macy's, Tencent, Micron, Alibaba, FedEx. You might care about those, but we're not really in earnings season. In fact, the biggest news relates to companies that don't have earnings right now. NVIDIA GTC 2026. This was a big announcement yesterday. They had a big event yesterday. The CEO Jensen sees $1 trillion in orders for Blackwell and Vera Rubin through 2027. When he said that yesterday, NVIDIA popped out of nowhere, quickly gave it back, and then went red, and then popped back to exactly where it was. So a lot of volatility intraday trading on NVIDIA, and it was all because of just this particular event. NVIDIA announces Vera Rubin Space One chip system for orbital AI data centers. So as much as that sounds like a science fiction farce between NVIDIA and Elon Musk and SpaceX, apparently this is a very real thing that might be happening a lot sooner than we ever anticipated. On a completely different front, Warner Brothers CEO to make $667 million on Paramount sale. Must be a good day to be David. Selling a company and you get almost 2/3 of $1 billion for, I guess, just saying, yeah, I guess we're going to sell. So just talking a little bit about that deal. Remember, Netflix backed out of it. So obviously right here, Warner Brothers, Paramount, most likely going to go through. And for one individual, man, that is a lot of money. More specifically, it is $34 million in cash, 115 in invested stock, and $517 million in share awards. So he's not going to be hurting anytime soon. Did he lose his job? Yeah, but I don't think we need to be too worried about him. And referring to earnings in a general sense, SEC prepares proposal to eliminate quarterly reporting requirement. Trump and others have said public companies should have to report earnings only twice a year. So this cycle that we're in of the quarterly reportings, obviously 4 times a year, might not be the way of the future. The SEC is preparing a proposal to eliminate requirement to report earnings quarterly and instead give companies the option to share results twice a year, according to people familiar with the matter. So just wanted to share that with all of you. And on that particular note, Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's get zoomed in. What equities do you guys want? Obviously, we have the S&P 500 in the top left. We have the NASDAQ 100 in the bottom left. What do you guys want over here? What equities are moving? What do you find to be exciting? Do you want to look at oil? Are we still watching oil, which is actually coming down a little bit? Do we see any big movers? Rum's up 1%. That's actually the biggest gainer I can see on my watch list right now. What else? What's moving? Folks, help me help you. What's moving? What's movement? Goat futures. You guys are going to make it so I never get invited to Iran. Oklo, they had a big announcement. They have earnings as well, up almost 8% right now. Oklo's on the move. Bitcoin is also doing well. We're seeing a nice technical breakout on Bitcoin. It's holding. Let's see if the cloud, come on. Where is it? There we go. Nice technical breakout. We're taking out these recent highs. Nice momentum switch. I want to see if Bitcoin can follow through and take out 79,000. I'd be uniquely excited about that. So Bitcoin, I admit it, it is looking pretty good in the short to medium term. There's Oklo, unfortunately, taking a hit. Bitcoin's popping a little bit. Where's oil? Here's oil. Oil turning a little bit back around. There was a downside gap fill on SPY, but we got it in the very, very first minute. You could see it here, even on SPX. There was a downside gap fill to yesterday's high at 6729, but we got that literally minute one. And now we're making our way for the upside gap fill. What is that value? 6745. 6745 is the upside gap fill on SPX. And we are making some pretty swift and decisive moves to it. It's about 5 to 6 points above where we are right now. So we got a quick little downside gap fill. We got a quick little upside gap fill. We are cleaning up the charts today. So we haven't quite gotten the upside gap fill. Once again, it is 6745, but we are getting very, very close. So it is it's roughly where my cursor is. So if you've been playing that for a while, obviously congrats to you. It didn't hit it as quickly as many people thought it would. It's taking its sweet time, took a little bit, but hey, better late than never, I suppose. Better late than never. So let me set up an alert there just so we know when it officially hits. So we're going to hear a little bit of a ding, a little bit of a feedback. So if you're playing that gap, obviously it didn't happen day 1, 2, or 3, but it does look like day 4 is the day for you guys. Let me very quickly get up the options flow on the day. We'll look at the S&P 500 and the Mag 7 and in all reality, honestly, whatever you guys want to look at. Out of the gate, and remember, it's only 3 minutes worth of data, but we are popping on the Mag 7. And same thing on the S&P 500. So once again, only 3 minutes worth of data, but thus far, the bulls are showing a little bit of enthusiasm out of the gate with respect to momentum. Excuse me. 5 minute is bullish, 10 minute is bullish, 30 minute is bullish, and the 4 hour is also bullish. Looking at the NASDAQ, 5 minute is bullish, 10 minute is bullish, 30 minute is bullish, 4 hour is bullish. So momentum is bullish. Options flow is neutral, leaning bullish, depending on what you're looking at. And then I would say overall structure, the daily structure is bearish. We do have lower highs and lower lows, but depending on the time frame, maybe you're looking at the 30 minute and you're thinking, okay, I see some fresh highs, I see some fresh lows. We did just get the upside gap fill, so a round of applause to everyone playing that. Congrats to you. Obviously, we could keep going. I'm not saying we're going to get reverted here, but I'm just saying if that was your specific play for the upside gap fill, congrats. You made some good money. And if you choose to hold it, hey, I'm rooting for you. I hope it keeps going. Hang on. Let me make sure we are good here. I just want to make sure we have everything up that I need up. Don't be surprised if there's a little bit of profit taking. We are seeing some positive gamma, especially at 6,770. Speaking of which, here are my key levels on the day. I know a lot of you guys like them. If you like them, use them. If you don't, hey, I'm not going to be offended if you choose to not use them. As I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is this green horizontal line, this red horizontal line, and this white horizontal line. The white box is the transition zone. From the perspective of market makers, it's considered to be bullish above, bearish below, and choppy within. And then the final thing are these yellow horizontal lines, which is basically all the big money positioning. You can see we have some positive gamma at 6,750, the most positive gamma at 6,770, a little bit at 6,785, and then from there we have some serious positive gamma above 6,800, kind of a noteworthy amount at 6,850. Obviously, we could talk about that a little bit later if we get close there, but in the meantime, let's see if we can get through this node at 6,770. I highly recommend you mark that out on your watch list today, your trading view today. We're looking at this upside gap fill. There's a little bit at 50, which we almost just got to, and then once again, the biggest positive gamma node, which can kind of act as like a gravitational force if you get too close to it, so we could get a little bit of sticky price action right there. Once again, is 6,770. So in terms of near proximity to current price, 6,770 is something that you're probably going to want to be paying attention to if you're looking at the overall market. So we did get the downside gap fill and the upside gap fill on the S&P 500 today. Did we get the upside gap fill on NDX? Let me see. No, there is still distance to go on the NASDAQ. 24,856. Once again, that is NDX, not NQ, not QQQ. Let's see what those levels are. We almost hit it. Let me set an alert right there. Once again, the upside gap fill on QQQ is 605.03. And since we're here talking about it, folks, this is your friendly neighborhood reminder. Roll your options contracts. We were on the March contract, the H contract, the third month of the year. It might say -3. It is time to upgrade from the H contract to the M, as in Milo, as in Matt, as in maraschino cherry, whatever you want to do, get on the M contract, obviously number 6. So update your futures contracts. This is for all the futures trader. If you're trading options, if you're trading stocks, this doesn't apply to you. If you're trading crypto or bonds, this doesn't apply to you. If you are trading futures, today is the day to roll. We are in the week of quadruple witching. You have to definitively roll it by Friday, but today is the real day to do it. So if you're looking at the levels and you're like, why are Matt's levels different from my levels, especially when we're looking at futures such as ES and NQ, it's probably because I rolled and maybe you haven't quite yet. So once again, this is your public service announcement. This is your FYI. This is your alarm. Whatever you need, today is the day to roll. So if you want your levels to show the same as my levels on NQ, on ES, once again for futures, roll it to the M contract, Milo, M, or -6, depending on how you have yours set up. Why the different letters on the contracts? Because that's how the futures world works. That's when you have to take delivery of that particular contract. It's basically just, I know most people now trading futures, hang on. It has to do, like, I know a lot of us are active traders. I know a lot of us are active traders.
Order submitted. Order filled.
But remember, the original use case of trading futures has to do with it was just a whole different derivative market where people are going to actively be using it to hedge out whatever their business is. So, for example, if you are, I don't know, a farmer, and if the price of live cattle diving were going to really, really hurt you because you own so much live cattle, as a protection, as a hedge against your business, you would probably go short live cattle contracts. Or another thing, you could go long it and it guarantees the price that you could sell live cattle at, something like that. But it's a derivative market that people were using to hedge out their business. And obviously, you need a certain end to those contracts of be like, okay, I think oil will be at this price at whatever date, and I need that delivery. That's why it's called a futures market, because you're taking delivery in the future. You're getting a hedge now to protect yourself in the future. So that's what all the different months are for. And that's also why different futures markets have different expirations. Certain things like oil and gold roll every month. certain things like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ roll every quarter. Not all futures contracts roll at the same time, but this is a particular week where they do all roll. It doesn't necessarily have to align like this, obviously, this time around, and this happens 4 times a year. That's why we call it quadruple witching, is because there's 4 types of contracts, 2 types of futures, 2 types of options that are all expiring this Friday. And if you do a study on it, and I do have a video up on it, so feel free to watch it if you're interested. I do have a video up on it, and hang on, let me just check out one thing really quickly here. Let me check out one thing really quickly with my position. Good.
Order submitted.
Okay. Quadruple witching. You have 4 types of contracts, 2 types of futures, 2 types of equities. They are all expiring this Friday. And if you look at quadruple witching just from a larger standpoint, it's not necessarily associated with bullishness or bearishness. It's just associated with higher ranges, higher volatility, because there's such a movement of money. So if you go into quadruple witching, don't make like the misstep of assuming it has to be bullish or bearish. Historically, there's no skew favoring the bulls or the bears, but it does really, you see a large uptick in volume. So you also see commonly an uptick in volatility. So once again, that is specifically this Friday. Things are still going to be probably pretty crazy tomorrow, Wednesday, because oil's taking a bit of a hit right there. You're going to have a hit or craziness in the volatility market, specifically VIX, because VIX contracts expire tomorrow, Wednesday, and that happens to align with an FOMC meeting. The FOMC meeting where they decide the Fed fund rate, it technically starts today. It concludes tomorrow. We find out their decision at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, will be speaking at 2:30. So I want to put that on everyone's radar. Right now, there's a 99% chance of no change to the Fed fund rate at all. So really what's going to be moving the market is the market's interpretation of what Powell has to say at that 2:30 press conference. So once again, 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Wednesday, Fed rate decision, or 2:30 is when Powell speaks. A half hour before that, 2 p.m. Eastern, is when we are going to be hearing the results from basically all the voting members on the FOMC board. Can you explain to me scaling rule is on Apex? Explain it like I'm mentally challenged. Yeah, it's just how many contracts can you trade? The more profit you have in your account, the more contracts you could trade. So more profit, you can scale your contracts higher. So at a certain point, you can trade in X amount of contracts is your max size. That size increases, X increases as you have more profit. Is mom going to let you throw a party in the basement when you get $1 million? Dude, I hope so. Dude, if she doesn't take me to Texas Roadhouse, we're going to have problems. Mag 7, not really moving much today. The NASDAQ went up, dropped, popped, going flat. So no real movement in the NASDAQ or the Mag 7. The SPY had a nice pump. Flow alert kind of represented that top. Anecdotally, we've been seeing reversals off the flow alerts, but it is basing nicely. So I'm hoping that we can, basically we're basing just below 67.50. And I know this is going to be a bit of a struggle, but I'm looking for that pop to 6765. Actually, I don't even like that anymore. I'm going to update this 85 and 70. So these are new trades as of market open. What did I say? 70? What was that? Right? 70 and then 85. All right. So we're updating these just because the gamma map has shifted since market open. All right, so quick little shift here, Okay, so clearly, if we break above 6750, which I make no guarantee that we will, but if we do, obviously the next target on SPX would be 6770. And why is that? Because it's a gigantic positive gamma node. You have a lot of positioning there on the 0 DTE basis. There's 3.3 thousand sold SPX contracts there, specifically calls. So it is creating a ceiling on the day. That is positive gamma sold contracts from the, perspective of, the market makers bought them because retail sold them, or traders sold them. I shouldn't say retail. Retail's probably not trading that size. But anyway, there we are. I'm looking at this. I do have a long position. I wanted to get in before the potential break of 6,750. Obviously, being a little bit early to the party might end up not doing so well for me. I just wanted to have that fill before, just in case we get one of these situations where we get the breakout. I wanted to have my fill below this value because on the retest, it might act as support, which is exactly why I decided to front run it a little bit today. So if you're curious why I traded early, it's just because I specifically wanted to fill below 6,750 because on the breakout, there might be a retest. I don't want my retest to get knocked out for break even. I want to try to be able to ride it up to this gigantic positive gamma node. So to me, the risk reward of that, it was worth it because you could see, can you guys see this? Yeah, let me move myself over here. I wanted to be in a bit earlier. I wanted to be in below 25,100. I wanted to be in below SPX testing this just because if I'm lucky, if I'm on the right side of variance and I get that breakout, if there's a retest, I might then be protected by that level and my stop at break even might never get tested. So that was kind of the logic below. This is what I'm looking for: a breakout, a retest,
Order
support.
filled.
And I just locked in my Lucid accounts at $571. I had the same entry on all of them just to explain it right here. You could see I got in at 938 on all of these. The lead account is this take right here, 938. I just decided to lock those in. You could see Lucid. I got in just below 100 because on those, I've already maxed out the buffer for when I go to live. I just need to continually get those $250 days so I could get another payout. Speaking of which, hang on, let me switch back to this just so you can see what's going on. Let me also make sure I have no pending orders. Cancel all orders, positions. All right, so I already locked in 500, 500, 500, 500. I've already locked in 2.5K on Lucid. I'm not trading my FFN accounts because I'm waiting for a $10,000 payout. And then obviously I'm trading on Legends. I am trading on Tradeify. I'm trading on my FFX X ones, and I'm trading on TPT. 73. This is not actually my profit target. I just want to put it in so I can move it around. And I guess if it hits, that's sick because that's a 100-point trade.
Order submitted.
So I just want to put that up there because I don't need to be overly greedy. I just wanted to mark out where 100 points is. But after we retest 100 here, I'll probably put my stop in at break even. But I'm just looking for one solid. Like I said, this is, I literally drew before this happened exactly what I'm looking for. Now, will it happen? Dude, I don't know. Maybe I have a little bit of luck of the Irish today. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But remember, when it comes to trading, it always comes down just to your risk management. The best traders are the best risk managers. They're not necessarily making money on every single trade. It's just, can you have risk management? I make money about half the time. If you're new to the show, this is important. If you are a returning viewer to the show, let me just drive this point home. I'm right about half the time. Every other trade I do, half make money. Every other one loses me money. At the start of a trade, when I put a trade on, I don't know which part of the 50% I'm in. So you always have to trade it defensively as if you're in the 50 losing percent because you don't want to blow out. But then obviously you want to give it enough room to potentially work for you that if you're in the winning 50%, you might be able to catch what the actual trend is. Obviously, there's always a couple things at play. For example, I always want to know where the positive and negative gamma is. I want to know what's going on with flow. I want to check the NASDAQ. I want to check the MAG 7. I want to check what's going on in the S&P 500. I want to know previous levels. I want to know gap fills. The more information, the merrier. And if you ask me, the more that aligns in one direction, you are looking pretty freaking good. So for me, I'm happy right now. I hope this is my one trade of the day. If anything, I love the days where I can catch the initial impulse. My trading methodology, yes, I have things such as Icarus, which is a data mine thing of just like right now, who has the edge, the bulls or the bears, just from short-term data. But my overall mental framework of day trading futures, this is specific to futures. If you're a futures trader, if you're a prop trading person, obviously day trading futures, specific to that world, I operate in what I refer to as the MK impulse. I've done a lot of data mining that suggests most days, not all, there's no such thing as an all-encompassing statement in the world of trading, but most days there is an initial impulse at some point within the first hour of trading, between 9:30 and 10:30. If you don't believe me, go look at the charts. Do a little bit of your own anecdotal research. If you really want to test that statement, go download the data and talk to AI about it. But to me, not only backed by data, but backed by like anecdotally what I see in the market. So backed by empirical evidence and also just recent trading. I believe that there is a large impulse, maybe up, maybe down, most trading days at some point within the first hour between 9:30 and 10:30. My goal as a futures trader is to catch that impulse that I refer to as the MK impulse. I want to get the meat of the move of that first impulse. I want to get in, I want to get most of that move, and I want to move on with my life. I'm not saying that's the only way to trade. I'm just saying that's like a particular framework that I've been working on for a while in the world of futures trading. And obviously, I want to keep like adapting it and improving it, this, that, the other thing. But just to, I guess, shine a little bit of light on specifically how I see the world of day trading futures. Obviously, if you ask me my framework of trading options, it's completely different. Swing trading, any of those things is very different than how I day trade futures, which is very different than how I invest in long-term stocks. But like very specific to the conversation of how do I day trade futures? I believe the evidence strongly suggests at some point in the first hour of the day, there's commonly a large move. I, as a trader, want to get the meat of that move. I'm not trying to bottom tick and top tick. I want the large percentage, as big of a percentage as I can possibly get of that first move. I want to lock it in and I want to move on with my life. If I get it, awesome. If I get knocked out at break even, hey, that's going to be part of the game. I just don't want to get in a situation where I'm playing it in the wrong direction and the impulse is against me. That is like specifically what I am trying to defend myself against, is being on the wrong side of whatever that potential trend is, and then just getting my ass handed to me and then not getting out. It's one thing if like you're on the right side of it and it just doesn't work because of your risk management, but to be in a particular trade and you're on the wrong side, well, that's where you can very much get into issues. Speaking of risk management, I put my stop at break even. It's a free trade. So if it knocks me out, that happens about a third of the time, roughly, to give you guys the percentages of my own trading. But it's just protection. I just don't want to go red. It's honestly that basic. So if it dips, yeah, does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. Because like I said, I wanted 100 to protect me. Maybe it doesn't protect me. Like, okay, in my mind, that would have been the perfect trade. I'm in below, it pops up above, we retest it right here at 948, and then we rip anyway. Is there a chance that maybe I get protected at 80? Yeah, maybe. But also there's a chance that maybe it comes all the way down and vomits and then I'm deeply in the red. I would rather be out for break even. Speaking of which, I'm going to go slightly green on this one just to cover commissions and whatnot. I want to take a shot. And when it comes to the world of day trading, I believe it has to do, to be successful, I think it has a lot to do with this concept. You know, for now, let's just delete this so it resizes properly.
Order canceled.
I think it has to do with how long can you survive the marathon of trading. You need more trades and more time in the game to potentially have those big returns. So you are inherently increasing the length that you can play this game every single time you put your stop at break even, because it means that at least on that one individual data point, you're not getting knocked out. So if this gets knocked out, and I want to be honest, it's very close to getting knocked out, it most likely will get knocked out. Does that feel good? No, it doesn't feel good. But think about the math of the situation. If you are continually protecting yourself by every single time it goes a little bit in your favor, if you're getting your stop to break even, inherently, it can never be that bad. Maybe it's not that good. Maybe you don't have a monster return, but at least you didn't take an L. And that's like the difference between doing what you know mathematically is right versus like what emotionally feels good. Like no one wants to take a loss. No one wants to go, what? almost 50 points in their favor just to get knocked out at break even. Yeah, it sucks, dude. It sucks. I will be the first to tell you that it sucks. But yet, this is how I survive the game. When I'm blowing out a bunch of prop accounts, it's when I'm doing dumb shit, as in the opposite of this, of instead of protecting myself, I'm adding on more contracts and I'm betting it's going to pounce back in my favor, yada, yada, yada. And then when I'm trading well, I'm trading with trend. I'm getting my stop at break even. I'm identifying key support levels. I'm reacting properly. I'm not oversizing. I'm paying attention to changes in the options market. Like the list goes on and on and on. I think we inherently as traders all know when we're dialed in doing the right shit. And then we also know when we're pretty much tilted or revenge trading or trading with too much size. I think we all kind of know, like if you're doing exactly what you should be doing versus not. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get lucky or unlucky. Of course, you could do the wrong things and still win. You could do the right things and still lose. But regardless of the result of the trade, which in the world of poker, it's literally referred to as resulting, basing the quality of your decisions on the outcome, which you're not in control of your outcomes. You're in control of your risk. The only thing I can possibly control right now is right here. I put my stop to break even. That's all I can possibly do. If the market gods send the market down and knock me out for break even, that sucks. But once again, it's not in my control. Then on the flip side, if I get lucky and I'm on the right side of variance and the market actually breaks out and continues, great. At a reasonable level, maybe at a recent resistance level, I'll lock in my money and I'll move on with my life. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Like we don't have to overcomplicate it. So as a human, do I very much want this to go up? Do I want this to break above 100 and like use this as support, the exact level that we've been talking about? Without a doubt. And if it knocks down, that sucks. But welcome to the world of trading, folks. Welcome to the world of trading. 70. Let's move this to 78 because that's 5 points. So that'll put me up $100 on the day, just giving me a little bit of a 5-point buffer if I have to keep trading on the day. So I did move myself up to $105 in profit. So no matter what, we're going to see green on the screen, which I think is a nice psychological win out of the gate. I did already lock in $550 on all my Lucid accounts. I locked those in at 100 all the way back here when we first hit it at 946. And to be completely honest with you, because of the time of the day right now, the major thing that I'm thinking about is, are we going to get hit with another 10 a.m. reversal? This doesn't happen every single day, but we've been seeing that occur quite a bit, sometime between 10 and 10:15, like 9:58 and 10:15. We've been seeing a lot of either profit taking or fading of current price action, which is another reason why I have this stop so aggressive right now, is because if there is a 10 a.m. reversal, well, I don't want to somehow go negative on the ordeal. If it knocks me out, I make $100 per account. And then if it bases somewhere maybe around 40, I could always get another position. But it's always inevitably a game of capital preservation. It really, really is. How many hours a day do you guys devote to sim trading? Hang on, this is about to knock me out. I don't know if that's necessarily... Yeah, all right, knocked out. So I made a little bit of money there. Of course, this could bounce and it could rip again. That's totally possible. Like I said, I'm trying to be mindful of this 10 a.m. thing. And if it completely collapses, well, guess what? I was able to lock in green. But another point to drive home here is there's no such thing as pattern day trading in the world of trading futures. So you could trade as much as you want. You could take 10 break-even trades in a day, and if you end up getting your money on your 11th one, you are not punished at all. But anyway, how many hours a day do you guys devote to sim trading? I don't know if that's necessarily a well-defined question, because are you saying, oh, like how many hours of a day are you watching the 1 minute chart, do this, do that, do the other thing? Or are you talking about like research and looking at Bayesian probabilities and studying up on how to read proper options levels and like that type of a thing? To me, you do need a certain amount of time, quote unquote, on the felt to just watching screens. But I think too many people think just watching screens is what you have to do as a trader, when in reality, your time is better spent doing a rigorous mathematical analysis of the markets. So I count that as trading time because I'm researching the data of the market. So for that, I would say as many hours as you possibly can, because the more and the faster you learn, the better off your trading career is. But if you think you need to sit here and just watch every single minute bar develop and somehow you're going to like through fucking meiosis, like understand the secret patterns of the market, no, like you have to do it to a certain point where you just like understand how markets either move or don't move. But I would never say, like, there's a breaking point where the more hours, like after you hit X amount, there's diminishing returns on just watching the minute chart. Like your time is far better spent, once again, doing rigorous mathematical studies of the market. Son of a bitch. It knocked me out right there. But that's protection. As much as it's like the aw shucks bummer moment, there could have been a giant red bar and then I would be deeply in the red. Instead, I locked in green. So never try. Like I know we all do it because we're all human. Try to not Monday morning quarterback. Like try not to. I know there is something very enticing about it. Monday morning quarterbacking, thinking, oh, if I bought here and sold there and we're bottom ticking and we're top ticking. Everyone is an amazing trader in hindsight. But guess what? You don't get paid on your Monday morning quarterbacking trade. So whatever it is, just stick to your system. Just stick exactly to your trading system and you will be A-okay. Because that's really honestly the only thing you can control. You can't control what happens after. Right here, did I get knocked out? And if I held, I'd be up another 10 points? Yeah. But like you can't kick yourself for that because in another universe and another setup, it did just keep going that way. So getting out when you were supposed to get out, as like explained and almost decreed by your trading system, you followed the rules and you did the right thing. So you can't beat yourself up for that. You can't. The SPY, this is what I was worried about. Remember when I said 67.50? I wanted a position below it because I would hope it would act as support. It's not acting as support. We broke this low at 9.52. So it just didn't work out this time. I got a little bit of money for it because I had a good enough entry and I managed it properly. Maybe this is a double bottom and we bounce here. And if it is, of course, I could always hop in on that particular play. There's no pattern trade, day trading when it comes. Ooh, even the SPY is getting hit. Mag 7 starting to pop. It is 10:01. I'm trying to give it a little bit. We've been noticing some shenanigans at the 10 a.m. hour. Oil is definitely popping now. Interesting. Yeah, right here. This lower high, not so good. And then the fact that we cracked the recent low, so we went from higher highs and higher lows to lower highs and lower lows on the SPY. That's kind of what did me in on my break-even trade. So, hey, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. And seeing on how this is going, I'm actually kind of happy with my management. I wanted to get the meat of the move. There just wasn't that much of a move today. I guess I could have got out at 93, but at that point I was watching the $100 level. I saw the recapture, thought it would get going. Just didn't happen that time. So break-even trade, and in reality, I turned a break-even trade to a little bit of a profit, $150. So I'm actually really happy with how things are going. Remember, you're not in control of where price is about to go. You are in control of your risk management. I think if more retail traders truly appreciated that, I think if more quote unquote influencers, which is such a lame thing to say, like try to actually teach that of just like, folks, the only thing you're really in control of is your risk. As a trader, that's the one thing you definitively get to set day in and day out is you can say, especially if you're disciplined, this is how bad things will get at the max bad. That's what you're in control of. Other than that, you can't make price go up or down. You can't somehow magically turn it around. And I think if more people really, really internalize that, when I say it out loud, it's not like that much of a big brain statement. But I think when you internalize that as a trader is when you're going to start really making some leaps forward in your trading career. Mag 7 just got smashed, and now the SPY is getting smashed. So I was trying to trade with trend. It just so happens that trend changed at like 950. And hey, trend can do that. It's allowed to change. It's allowed to change, folks. Momentum is actually still bullish, though, on the 5, the 10, and the 30. If you're just joining in right now, please do not forget to change your contracts. Make sure you are trading on the right futures contract if you are a futures trader. Bullish, 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 bullish. Oh, brother. Oh, mother, oh, brother. Oh, mother, oh, brother. We almost tried to pop a little bit there. Got hit. Oh, mother, oh, brother. Where's the 50% retracement of the current range? Okay. So based on the current intraday low, which was at 931, and the intraday high at 948, the 50% retracement is right here at 40. Kind of an interesting level to pay attention to. And VWAP is actually below the intraday low, so very, very far away at the moment. So we don't even need that particular screen. Looks like we're finding a little bit of support here at the 1 minute 50 EMA. Let's see if the buyers decide to step in on this. I could definitely let you know that we ran right into the start of positive gamma. You can kind of see this zone right here. We ran right into the start of it, and the market said, "Nah, honey. Nah, honey." Are we reversing course a little bit? Maybe yes, maybe no. How do options flow? All right, I'm seeing a little bit of life here. Dude, it might be that 10 a.m. right there, 10 a.m. reversal, this time at 10:03. I haven't taken a position yet. If I do, you're going to hear it. But I just keep pointing out, this time the 10 a.m. reversal, look at flow down, down, down. This time, like it seems to be somewhere between like 9:55 and 10:15. I don't have the exact stats on it, but anecdotally, it feels like we've been seeing this type of action quite a bit. Sometime within plus or minus 10 minutes of the 10 a.m. hour, some sort of like reversal in direction. This time, we were actually diving from 9:46 to 10:03, and now we're seeing a pop, but let's see if there's actual follow through on it. If there is follow through on it, I'm happy to take a bullish trade. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 4 hours bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 4 hours bullish. Obviously, I would love for the Mag 7 flow to improve. I would love for the NASDAQ flow to improve. The SPY was selling off, but maybe we just bottomed a little bit right there. Oil's taking a hit right now. Are we actually bouncing back around, or is this just another lower high? Obviously, no one can definitively know, but hey, that's the fun game. That's the fun game we get to play here, isn't it? All right, I'm kind of watching this down sloping trend line on the SPY ETF. And on the Qs as well. Once again, if you're joining in right now, no live position. I'm more so interested in the bull case just because right now I'm looking at 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hours all bullish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hours all bullish. Structure did pop this morning. Obviously, we're giving some back. I'm looking to see if we're actually, this is like a little fake out breakdown low on the SPY because it is a higher low on the Qs. I'm looking to see if we can possibly swing around here. Obviously, I don't know if it will happen, which is why I don't have a position yet, but that's what I'm looking for. And I think it might be, if it were to happen, it might be correlated with oil dropping. So I'm kind of paying attention to that. And I'm looking at it happening with VIX also dropping. Bitcoin's showing a little bit of life over here. Where's oil? I'm going to put oil back up. Oh, brother. My risk isn't the most right now. All right, here's a look at flow. SPY, double bottom maybe. NASDAQ, flat. Mag 7, picking up. Mag 7 picking up since 10:06. So we still might be in this realm of the 10 a.m. reversal. We were trending down and down and down in options. Granted, we haven't seen a big pop yet, but I'm holding out a little bit of hope here. Matt, what do you think about the right side of the V? Yeah, it's just literally catching off of support. Like it's just, I mean, I guess I have no issues with it. It's just a way to explain, hey, we dipped, we found support, and you're buying it off that support, and your risk is the recent swing low, and you're trying to play the new trend. Like, it's just a different way to explain a concept that it's basically saying ride the bullish trend. Manipulated markets, can we call this capitalism? You know, people say that generically, and like, I think a lot of people say it because it's an easy way to get other people to agree with you of like, yeah, manipulated markets. But for per conversation, I always find myself saying, how do you think it's manipulated? Like, in what way are you talking about manipulation? I mean, technically, you're manipulating the market every single time you buy or sell because you're either pushing it up or down. Like, your obviously, your trade is having an impact on the market. So if we're looking at the literal definition of manipulate, as in like to alter the state of, that's manipulation. If you're talking about it in more of an illegal way of like something with insider information, that's not really manipulation. It's still like an illegal act and it should be persecuted. I'm not in any way trying to defend it, but that's not manipulating it. I feel like a lot of people, when they say the word manipulation, it's a lot of retail traders and it's a lot of retail day traders who are trying to say that the price action itself is manipulated, as in it was supposed to go up, but it didn't because of XYZ, or it was supposed to go down, but it didn't because of XYZ. And I don't know if that ever really exists. Like this concept of price was supposed to do something. What do you mean? But once again, this is getting really into the weeds of like, whenever I hear people say it's manipulated, I need to like have an actual like per person conversation of what do you mean by manipulation? To me, it's manipulation when the London Metal Exchange busts all trades and say, hey, that's not allowed. And this all happened in 22 because they had a large client who was going to blow out and the market ran up. And they basically said, nope, all the trades you've done in the past day or two are actually non-existent. To me, that's manipulation because a bunch of trades were executed. People made money. People lost money. And then they went back in history and actually said, no, that actually doesn't exist. So to me, that's a form of manipulation. Just to point out like where I see some and where I don't. So do I think it exists? Yeah. But do I think it exists in the exact same style that I always hear retail traders complaining about it? No, because I think most of the time they're complaining to complain. They're not really actually giving a specific example in which they think they're seeing manipulation. Does that make sense? The market is manipulated is losing trader cope. Yeah, I think most of the time. But once again, just because I believe that, I still believe the markets have like illegal, illicit manipulation. But I think we just have to be very specific about what we're saying and what we're meaning when we make that statement. Is there manipulation? Yes. But does that mean we can just frolic around on the internet and say manipulation, I suck at trading because of manipulation? Well, no, you suck at trading because you suck at trading. I highly doubt that the people manipulating the market, whether true or not, are individually screwing over your like one contract simulated position. It's not how it works. Manipulation equals I traded like shit today and it can't be my fault. I think most people are like that. But once again, like I'm trying to be very specific here. That doesn't mean I don't think manipulation occurs. I think there is illegal, illicit manipulation. I just think most of the time that people are bitching about it, they're bitching about their own shitty trading strategy or lack of discipline rather than like manipulation actually causing financial harm to them. 100% exists in different scenarios. Just watch Jim Cramer's interview from 30 years ago. 99% of time, price action isn't that, though. I agree. Like I said, I do believe it exists, but I don't think it is the reason for you sucking at trading. I think you suck at trading because you suck at trading. Did you get the $1 million payout from Apex? No, I did not. I'm still waiting on their decision. I'm still confident in it. And I also understand that this type of thing just takes it takes time. KYC, AML, and they also happen to be in the middle of hunting down influencers who are lying and scamming the system. Did you guys all see that email from Apex yesterday? basically saying, hey, like there's a lot of people who are gaming the system. They're like trying to get windfall results on the very first day of trading their funded account, and then they scalp trade from here on out. So we're cracking down on that. It seems like there's just like a lot going on with the company in the background with a bunch of new accounts, this, that, the other thing. So rolling out new accounts, dealing with people cheating the system, including some of their largest influencers, and then also the process in itself outside of all of that to approve $1 million payout takes a lot of time. So I understand why it's taking this long. So it just requires patience. I'm sure you saw that email. I read it. Yeah, I read it. So, I mean, I don't know. I like the prop trading industry. So this idea of calling out very specifically the scammers and the cheaters, I have no issue with it, because if we continually allow the scammers and the cheaters to scam and cheat, basically it's going to end the entire industry, and then no one's going to get to be able to do it. So the scammers and cheaters in the short term are going to get their payouts, but then it's going to basically be a net adverse impact on the rest of us trying to follow the system. And I want to be clear here. I have a little bit of a hot take, and I know that this is going to put me in a bit of water, a little bit of hot water with my hot take. To me, the idea of buying a bunch of accounts, that in itself, in my mind, is not indicative of you were like scamming and cheating the system. I think there are people who bought a lot of accounts who did scam and cheat the system. I think there's a lot of people who bought a few accounts who scammed and cheated the system. I think there are people who were above board with a small amount of accounts and with a large amount of accounts. To me, I see right now in the Twitter sphere, this concept of spending a lot of money on SIM-defunded accounts is somehow indicative of either nefarious action or just something that people shouldn't be able to do. I don't agree with that at all. So maybe you do, maybe you don't. But first of all, I want to let you know that I've had thousands of SIM-defunded accounts. I've shown you my account numbers. We've made videos on it. You've seen it live. I don't want anyone to think that I've somehow been hiding it from them. So I'm taking the opportunity to say it to you live, to once again, for the 19th time, drive home the point that I've had many, many of these accounts. I've been actively trading in the SIM-defunded world since 2023. So half of 2023, all of 2024, all of 2025, and a portion of 2026. So we've been at this for 2, almost 3 years in total. And I want to explain something that for all of you, I don't think anyone should spend any money at all trading at first. I think you should use paper trading. I don't even necessarily think it's appropriate to start at SIM-defunded trading. I think it's appropriate to start at paper trading, no risk, obviously no reward, but you're learning the mechanics of trading. And then when you feel confident, when you've done your research, your back test, you feel a little bit more confident about your strategies, I think then that's the appropriate time to start with a single SIM-defunded account, keeping your risk as low as you possibly can. And then obviously I wish you success. And as you grow and you're getting payouts, well, that's when you can grow it more and more and more. I've seen people bitch and complain about people who are playing with larger size, spending $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 a month on these eval accounts. I want to be clear. That is very possible to achieve, but you should only be at that level after you're already trading at enough size that you're getting the payouts to fund it. So to me, it should always be, I guess, a snowball that is rolling larger and larger and larger. Like, it would be absolutely fucking nuts to come out of the gate with no trading experience and be like, yeah, I spent $10,000 trading this month on these evals. Fuck it. What? That would be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. No, you get to that point by rolling it larger and larger and larger. You traded on one account, great, you got to pay out. Maybe you went to 3 accounts, great, you got to pay out there. And then that's all of a sudden how you get to these larger spend levels. So I guess I wanted to clarify the fact that I've bought thousands and thousands of accounts, like just in my career, 2+ years, 2.5 years, almost 3 years. I've bought thousands of evals. I bought thousands of funded accounts by the time you consider all the firms together. I've had periods of success with the $1 million Apex payout that I'm waiting on now, the recent success with Lucid, the recent success with FFN, and I've had periods of failure. If you were paying attention to this period, March of last year, I ran all my Apex accounts after trading 60 days up $800,000, and I blew them all up. So I've been very public and transparent about it that yes, I've had big periods of success, but that's also come with big periods of failure. So I want to be very clear. I think that this industry needs a lot more transparency. I think that sunlight is the best disinfectant. So I guess I want to be an open book about it. Like, I don't want anyone to think that I'm attempting to obfuscate or hide. For example, the $1 million payout right now that I'm waiting on from Apex, I just want to be very clear about that. I did have soft breaches. The very first payout was denied for MAE. The next payout was approved. The third payout was denied because of MAE. The very first one, I'm trying to think of specifically what happened. I think that was like a close one where I was like, oh, I didn't even know I broke it. The third one, I just got tilted, to be completely honest. I didn't come close to blaying out the accounts, but I was in a trade. I didn't respect my risk. I refused to close it. I knew that it was going to breach that rule, and it was just a lapse of judgment. It was just poor trading. We all have bad trading days. Obviously, I was smart enough to correct it. And hang on, speaking of trading, I might need to do something here soon. I'm paying attention to the market still. And then ever since then, I basically decided, hey, Matt, like there's a chance you could really run these accounts up. It's time to dial it in. It's time to like never have any of these violations whatsoever. And that's what I did. Every single payout from there was approved with no issue because I followed the rules every single time. So I guess, I don't know. The email came out, a lot of people gaming the system, and the way they're gaming it. So there's two major ways to game the system, at least thus far, that people have been caught for. Number one is what one other influencer was doing, was they would take half their accounts and they would go one direction on gold, and they would take their other half of their accounts and they would go one direction on silver, the opposite direction. And so basically, because they're correlated assets, half the accounts would do really well and the other half of the accounts wouldn't. Obviously, that's breaking the rules. The other way that they're recently finding people gaming the system, hang on, I'm still watching the market here as closely as I possibly can. The other way that they're finding people gaming the system, what is this level? 40. Hang on, do I want to take this trade? Is they basically YOLO it, get a water windfall on their first day, their second day, and then from there on out, they scalp trade. So they represent no consistency whatsoever. And actually, I put this in the Discord yesterday. General, hang on. Is it in trading? I'm going to show you my equity curve for my accounts. Hang on, though. We might have to put a pause on that.
Order
All right,
filled.
I'm taking a stab here.
Order submitted.
All right. 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute bullish, 4-hour bullish, 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute bullish, 4-hour bullish. S&P 500 flow, we got a flow alert. It was trending down. We bottomed at 1017. Flow alerts commonly show, hey, that might be the end of that player. We saw one earlier today. We were up. Not too much long later, that was the top. This one perfectly aligned with that low. So let's see, maybe it turns. I don't know if it will. I don't know if it won't. But watching that flow alert, am I on the right side? Yeah, you guys could see a flow alert right here at 1017. Mag 7, not looking so good. It's flat. The 0 DT, actually it's the 1 DT, does expire tomorrow. Not much movement. Looking at the Nasdaq, similar thing, probably that flow alert here at 1017, but down. That might represent the low of the day. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Obviously, there's some variance in this game. The market did take a hit. The overall momentum still does favor the bulls, which is why I'm interested in the bullish position. Oh, by the way, I did take a bullish trade. So I'm watching this. It's going flat here. Obviously, I want to see this trend line breakout. We're testing the trend line right now on the NASDAQ. I'm interested in the push to the next node. Let me make this blue just so it stands out a little bit more. Once again, I have about a 50-50 shot. It all comes to the game of risk management. Risk management. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. All right, so we have that. And then obviously, I also want to see it on the SPY as well. I'm also somewhat attempting to patiently wait for the formation of IB, the initial balance. Let's go to the 5-minute on oil and on Bitcoin, just because I don't know if we need it to be that specific. Palantir is popping for all my PLTR fans. I myself am a PLTR fan as well. Up 1.6%. Rum is up 1.8%. So Rum is still the biggest gainer on my watch list. Oklo, I think, was doing well today. Oracle's doing well. Rum is popping. Okay, so right now, in terms of tech stocks, Palantir's looking good and Oracle's looking good. I have an investment in Palantir in my long-term account, and I have no position currently on Oracle, at least not that I know of. What were we talking about, though? Oh, the way people were scamming. The other way people were scamming, so the gold, silver, long in half the account, short in the other half, using the different products because they are correlated. So half does well theoretically, and the other half blows out. So they caught people doing that, like hundreds of people doing that. And then the other way is people, they first get a funded account and they have waterfall gains, as in basically they max out the amount of contracts they have, and they just hope that their first trade in day one or day two does well, and then they just kind of fuck. This might be a fake out reversal. I need to pay close attention just in case I need to cut it. Just in case I need to get the fuck out. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Bullish, 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 but we still have room to dip. It could dip and still be bullish. All right, so we're all, oh, by the way, we're also, why I was fine being here is because look at, we came right below this key level 30, and then we pop back up. So I'm like, oh, maybe just traders are reacting to this key level is another thing that was going on in my mind. So 730, it is a key level right about here. See, positive gamma node. So I was looking for a potential reaction there, which is why earlier before I got in the trade, you heard some of the alerts. Now, once again, will this one work? Will it not work? I want it to work, but I can't make it work. I can't make it work. What are we doing? What are we doing? I would love for, if SPX gets back above a 6738, I'm feeling good about a retest of 50. Obviously, I would love for that to align with the options market popping. Right now, this is not an A+. This is a C+, B- setup in my book because the NASDAQ options flow is down. The Mag 7 options flow is down. It's recovering a little bit right now. And the S&P 500 options flow is down. So even though momentum is strong, 5-minute all the way up to the 4-hour, 5-minute all the way up to the 4-hour. Momentum is strong. I'll give you guys that. But it is literally the opposite of what we are currently seeing in options flow, which is why I'm giving it a B+ at best, C+ at best, B- setup right now. This is not high B. This is not even it's nowhere close to the A's of a setup. So I waited. I was trying to be patient, and we'll just see how it goes. If a trader used that gold and silver strategy but different prop firms, would the firms communicate with each other to know about this? I have no idea. But I don't recommend you do that at all, because if you do get caught, you're done. They're just gonna, you're gonna get blacklisted. Whatever profit you have, donezo. Whatever you paid for their accounts, you're gonna keep that money. It's just not. The risk reward isn't there. You're going to be better off learning how to actually trade. Why waste your time trying to figure out how to game the system where there's only so many hours in the day? Why not be using that time to, I don't know, learn how to actually trade? What's wrong with windfall? You are taking the chance of losing your account and the money you spent on the account. I would think that how prop firms tons of money when people lose it in day one. It's just against the rules. I'm not saying I made up those rules, but all of these firms, well, not all, I can't say all of them. A lot of these firms have those rules. So it's just, you're just violating the rules. So that's what another one that in the Apex email, if you guys didn't read it yesterday, that's a big one that they're talking about, is they're finding that there are people who day one, day two of the accounts, they go, either max or a large amount of contracts. They hit it big, and then from there on out, they just do the $50 scalp days to milk the payouts. They're not still actually trading, that's the whole thing. It's called sim to funded because it's supposed to simulate actual trading. So they only want to be partnered with people who are like attempting to actually trade. So I think a really good litmus test, and I'm just saying this, but I think this is a good way to think about it, is what you're doing in the market actual in a sim to funded prop account, is it actually repeatable in a real account? Like if you were doing the same things in your account, would it work in another account? So obviously in a quote unquote self-funded account, you wouldn't randomly try to waterfall it one day. That's not real trading. No real trader would ever actually do that. The gold and the silver thing, you wouldn't in one of your accounts rip it on gold and in a different account rip it on silver in opposite directions, because if you were really trading, you would be basically break even if you sized it accordingly, because whatever you gain in one, you're going to lose in the other. So what's the point of that? So I think a good reasonable litmus test is what you're attempting to do in the world of sim to like funded. Is your trading methodology exactly what you would be doing in your own self-funded account? Now, is that like going to be 100% accurate? Like, I don't know. You could probably come up with a counterexample, but I think in just like a general sense, you guys understand what I'm trying to say here is like, you should be like actually trading. They actually don't have windfall rules. They have consistency rules. So after a big windfall, the trader has to bring up the total P&L to a point where the day one windfall isn't outsized. That was true on Apex, but once again, we're also generally talking about this space. Not all of them have consistency rules. It's not like all these firms have the exact same rules, and some do have consistency, other ones don't. But yes, on Apex, the legacy rule set was a 30% consistency in a way to battle that. And I will show you, I was asking ChatGPT to do a breakdown of my accounts on Apex. I still have access to the data and everything, so I'll show you guys something interesting in a second, but I am trying to manage this position, which I don't even think I showed it to you guys. But now I'm red. I was going to say I'm break even, but now it's unfortunately breaking to the downside. Well, that sucks. Shit. Oh, do I think it's going to bounce off of this? I have no idea. I would like it to. I would like to see. I got excited here at 1029 when we had a nice green candle. We took out these recent highs, and I was like, okay, we're going to get going. I was in at 1022. At 1029, I thought I had a nice winning trade there for a second. But now it is quickly going red on me. We're right at that 50% retracement of IB, so I'm hoping that people treat this as an important technical level. I would not be opposed to people buying aggressively at 40, ripping it up above 62.25, so I at least can see green in my particular trade. I wouldn't mind that in the slightest. But hang on, let me give you guys a review of, hang on, do I have, all right, let me just get alerts set, because I don't want to somehow do something stupid and blow out an account that I shouldn't be blowing out. Here's a look at Mag 7, trying to improve a little bit, and the SPY got sold off, and now it's just flat. And looking at the NASDAQ, same thing, got sold off, now it's just flat. I am looking at SPX. We know we have support at 30, and we know that from right here, positive gamma node. If it gets going, we could easily push up to 60 because this is all negative gamma. You have negative gamma from 6735 all the way up to 6755. So the first thing I see stopping it is 60. Of course, on an intraday basis, there is a bit of technical resistance at 50. So it would be wrong of me to like not pay attention to that level, but yeah, pay attention to 50. But I just want to point out that we have slippery price action all the way up to 60, and then the big positive gamma node starts at 6770, and it's kind of also up to 75, which means I need to update this a little bit. So 70, okay, no, that's good. 70, somewhere between 70 and 75, you have a lot of positive gamma in the top left of your screen right here. So just want to call that out to everyone. I wish the options flow would improve. That's the one thing that seems to be hampering this right now. I don't mind this support level. I'm looking for this trend line breakout. I mean, there's various things favoring the bulls right now, but options flow is not one of them. Options flow is definitely not one of them. Oil, not doing much. Gold got hit. Silver got hit. Bitcoin back to 74. All right, maybe a little bit of a trend line breakout right here. Let's go to a bigger chart so I can see what the fuck I should be doing. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. All right, we're going to de-risk the situation. Honestly, that's not even de-risking it because 30 was my risk the whole time anyway. I had the blue line set up. This is my second trade of the day. The first trade of the day, I got out for a small gain. I got out earlier on the Lucid accounts. That was all trade one. What you're seeing right now is trade two. I went long at 10.22. You can see trade one back here on the left side of your screen. I went long at 9.38. I got knocked out at basically break even at 9.58. But in the meantime, on that push up, I did secure larger profits on my 5 Lucid accounts in the top right of your screen. Obviously, I'm not trading on Lucid right now. Those ones are flat. I'm done with those on the day, but I am trading on all my other accounts. I have take profit accounts. I have FFNX accounts. I have Tradeify accounts. I have Legends accounts. So I'm trading on all my other accounts. Those ones are live right now, and I'm basically break even. You can see I went long here at 10.22. Why did I go long at 10.22? Well, momentum was still bullish across the board, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour on ES, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour on NQ. Momentum was bullish, so I was bullishly biased. Then I saw that we dipped below a key level and quickly recovered, and that's why I went long right after that pop, because I said, hey, we're bouncing off of support. If I'm wrong, my risk is this recent low. So yes, commonly trading the Nasdaq or the S&P 500, I use the other one for confirmation or to say, hey, hang on, there's actually weird divergence. So I saw a dip below a key level. It was also a technical double bottom. It was also a bounce off of the green to red move. So I saw various things going on right here that I liked. The one thing right now, and it's finally improving, was the S&P 500 flow. This is the final thing, or options flow in a general sense. This was what I was waiting for because it was getting its fucking teeth kicked in. And now finally we're seeing a little bit of luck of the Irish, folks. And I will go break even on the break of 100. So I'll turn it into a free trade on the break above 100. And really, I want to see the test of the IB high at 117. What time did we make that? Back here at 9:47 this morning. So the current intraday high for regular trading hours, which is also now the IB high, is 25,117, and I will be setting my stop to break even. Somewhere in here, somewhere between 100 and 110, probably 100. Let's call it 100. Let's make this real specific, real easy for all of you guys. Anyway, while we're waiting to see if that does or doesn't play out, once again, my job as a trader is to be a risk manager. I am not in control of anything else. I can't make stuff go up. I can't make stuff go down. But I do want to know, I want to set up any potential reversals here because I don't want to get embarrassed live with all of you guys. Fuck. Could be a fake out right here. We try to get going. Come on. Don't show me red. Just turn right here. Turn right here. Come on. Get out of here. The recent low was 67. We did sweep that, but not by much. 1 minute. 65 is the point of control, which is different than VWAP. Point of control, the POC, is just where most volume has been traded at. It's a very specific price level. Like, it's the exact price level where most volume has been traded at. It's not an average value. It's literally just saying at today on this session, most of the volume is exactly at this price, and that happens to be 25,065, where we just bounced off of. Oh, do I want to set the break even now and just go for it and just say, hey, either we're making money or we're break even? I feel like I need to give it 1 extra second here just in case, but I wonder if I'm going to be kicking myself. Part of me was wondering if I should go break even here and then put another buy order in at 40 and save myself 22 points. But there was also no guarantee we would go down to here. Oh, brother. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. I hope this isn't a fake out breakdown. This blue dash line. All right, we don't need this one. That could just get confusing. The blue dash line is the 50% retracement between the IB high and the IB low. If you don't know what IB high and low are, that's the first hour from 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern, the high and the low in that time frame. Basically, it's considered to be the extremes of like institutional trading. So that's already established because we're past 10:30. So obviously we can't go above or below that for the IB. Of course, you could have the IB breakout or breakdown. Of course you can. And in fact, that's a common target. A lot of people, when they have a directional bias, whether bullish or bearish, they love to target that. That's actually a really popular trading strategy, whichever one you make second. So we made the IB high second here at 947. We made the IB low first. Like in the day, people go long at the 50% retracement. So they were long here at 1013 at 25,040, and their target is 117. Now, obviously, that trade took a little bit of smoke. It took about a 45 point amount of smoke. I don't know if it's going to be right or wrong. It's a decent trade. I think you can improve it. I would never trade the IB 50% retracement blindly. I would never just say, oh, we made this 1 second and I got to go long here and it's going to work. That might be profitable. It's either break even or profitable. But the reason I just don't even know is because there are very, very easy ways to dramatically improve that. So the concept of, hey, this is just, I just go blindly long here because we made the high second and I'm not going to be looking at options flow or gamma, or I'm not going to be looking at day of the week or seasonality or ranges or something like that. I just don't agree. Like it might be profitable. I don't know. I can't comment on that. I actually think it is profitable, but you could greatly improve it from a profit factor standpoint and also from the practice. Come on, bounce off of 40. I'm looking for the bounce of the 50%. I'm hoping buyers step in right here. And if not, I'm giving it a little bit more wiggle room. But as you can see, I'm only willing to take on $580 worth of risk, which would put my accounts down like $400 on the day, which is completely within my risk management parameters. Do I like it? Absolutely not. Like I said, I saw this pop at 1029. I saw this pop at 1035. I thought I was golden when I saw those. And this kind of shows you sometimes like how your bias of trading can like really, really mess you up. But I saw those and I was like, cool, I'm good. Like I was already counting the money in my head. I was like, cool, I'm going to make like 2K per account. I'm trading on 14 account. Like I was already counting the money when I saw this pop. I thought I was wrong. And then I really started counting the money in my mind at 1035 here. If Apex starts caring about gaming evals, then yeah, 50-50 thing would have to change. They do now. As of 2025, they didn't, but they do now. So you have to be very, very careful with that. They very much. Apex is making legitimate changes so they can ensure the longevity of the firm, the company. Obviously, they want to be compliant with all the SEC stuff. Like, there's a lot going on in the background. And from a business perspective, if I were running that company, like, I understand it. All right, so we have kind of a triple bottom here now. I'm hoping it holds. I'm hoping we can rip and take out this high at 87. Like I said, I want to go to break even, taking out the psychological level of 100. But I would love for this to get popping. Let's dive in. The 100, okay, I'm seeing green again, folks. I'm already counting those gains. Luck of the Irish. We're playing luck of the Irish today. You know, even though things were dire there for a second, the market gods were shining upon me to ensure I didn't get knocked out. Folks, we all have luck of the Irish today. It was, come on, luck of the Irish. It has to work, right? It has to work. It has to work. Come on. Come on, luck of the Irish. Looking for the trend line breakout on the S&P 500. Oil is dipping. That should be bullish for equities, but stay tuned. And I also see Bitcoin popping. That also should represent risk on mindset. S&P 500 still flat. I need that to pop the way it did before. Seemed to be a little bit of a fake out. I want to see the options delta pop. The Mag 7 is improving, so it was getting hit, starting to improve, turning around 1018. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like this could work. Speaking of Apex, they're still running an 85% off deal. This is a gnarly deal. The end of day 150K account, the end of day drawdown 150K account is by far my favorite. But once again, that's my favorite. I implore you to use whatever accounts you have the best chances with your specific trading style. But if you want to take advantage of the 85% off deal, use code Goonie. And just so you know, Lucid is also running some pretty sick deals right now. I like the Flex account the best. Once again, I just want to share with you my favorites. Lucid Flex, 150K account. If you use code Goonie, you could actually get a better discount than what it's showing right here because your first two are actually going to be 50% off. And then after that, you can get another 5 for 40% off. So I wanted to share that. It's not just 40% off. Your first two are 50% off. And they're also running a deal on the pro accounts. If you like the pro accounts, I don't really have specifically an issue with them. I just like the Flex better. That's a personal decision. So I just want to share with you, like once again, I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just like the Flex better. And I can't comment on the direct because I haven't used the direct ones at all. So right now, code Goonie on Lucid, code Goonie on Apex. These are the best deals of the day. So I wanted to share that with you. And also, if you want to trade with me, if you want to be mentored by me, GoonieTrading.com. That's the easiest way to get signed up in the Goonie Trading Discord. If you have any questions or comments, right here, hit the contact page. Give me your name, your email, and whatever your question is, and I will personally respond to you. This is not someone I pay. This is not an AI system. This is directly speaking with me. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything, that's exactly what this is for. But once again, if you want to trade with me and other like-minded people who attack the market in a mathematical driven way, that's exactly what the Goonie Trading Discord is for. So I wanted to share all that with you. Once again, GoonieTrading.com, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And then on Lucid and Apex, the links are in the description. But code Goonie is all you need on the checkout. And with respect to whether it's futures or specifically this, you might be thinking, is it worth it? Well, my one trade yesterday made $1,000. So ask anyone in the Discord, this would have paid for an entire year of you being in the service. An entire year. If you go through the education videos, if you understand in this case what put credit spreads are, if you understood the mantra, the reasoning of why I did this, you would have said, okay, I see what Piper's firing. Piper is a options-based trading system where it gives you an idea of the momentum of the day and a statistical confidence right here, 3 out of 5. So to be honest, it wasn't that confident, but it was confident enough to fire bullish. I took the trade at the exact same time. I got in at 11.25. I got out at 205. I sold at 80, bought back at 30. I had 20 of them, 20 times 50. That's the $1,000. So that one trade alone would have paid for an entire year of the service. Now, obviously, I don't want anyone to think that you should just come in there and blindly copy these trades, because if you blindly copy it, you can easily get yourself in trouble by not knowing how to manage it if things go awry. So that's why I'm saying you have to go through the education videos. You have to understand what's going on with options flow. You have to understand this. And once again, I have all the videos in there. The breakdowns are there. I explain it all. This isn't like hidden information from you. It's more of saying, please don't just blindly copy, but if you go through all the steps, learn the math of the market, and understood what this trade is, well, just literally yesterday alone would have paid for an entire year of you being in the service. So do I think it's worth it? Yes, but obviously I'm going to say that because I made it. So I think a better way for you to know if this Goonie trading community is for you, reach out to someone who's in the community and ask them if they think it's worth it. Obviously, I'm going to be happy with it because I put a lot of time into the creation of it, and I know a lot of the things going on behind the scenes that are going to take the community to the next level. It's not stagnant. There's a lot of cool things I want to do with it that we're actively building out. So of course, I'm going to be optimistic on it. So hey, I've been in there. I've been like where you guys are in the past of like, okay, of course this guy's talking it up, but like, is it real? Is it not real? The most fair thing I could say to you guys is track down a member who's been in there and just ask them. That's the most fair thing you can do. Ask them if they think it's worth it, and ask them why they think it's either worth it or not worth it. I mean, to be completely frank, to be completely Matt, that's probably the most fair way you could do it. I feel like I was doing something that I forgot that what we were talking about. Speaking of that. Oh, I was going to show you the equity curve for my account. Okay, so these are my Apex accounts, the 50K accounts. So this, it started in October. That's why the first date a little bit to the left here is November. And you can see I traded it all the way up to February 3rd. That's where I got, I guess, pause. This is just the account balance for one of my 15 accounts, but I copy traded them, so they all look pretty much the same. So it seems like one of the biggest issues right now with Apex is people who are trading in a way that's inconsistent, as in they get a big waterfall gain right out of the gate, they're gaming the system, and then from there on out, they scalp. Here's my account. You can see I traded up and up and up. We hit the Christmas break. This is December 20th to the new year. I came fresh back after the new year and traded even bigger. This is my real equity curve for one of my 15 accounts. So in an effort to be transparent and what's going on, this is how I traded. If you ask me, I think this is pretty consistent. Could I have done better? Of course, every trader could always do better. But this is the account balance, obviously, versus the date. And you can see I ran it up from the 50 all the way up to the 117. This is 73 trading days. Some of these knocks are me doing the payout request. I do want to let you know, I did have 2 different times I was declined from the payout because of the MAE. Percentage-wise, I had one trade, like the unrealized trade was a larger drawdown than, I guess, my buffer is the best way to explain it. I have a whole video on MAE if you need a better explanation, but it's basically what's your largest unrealized drawdown. Anyway, I was declined my very first payout. I approved on my second one, declined my third one. And then from there, I had 4 payouts approved right in a row. I was trading. I took it a bit easier because it was literally the Christmas holiday season. And then we came back fresh and I did better than I ever did before. And then I got frozen out. So just wanted to share that just in the sake of transparency, since rightfully so, there's a renewed outcry for, oh shit. We're taking a little bit of a hit here. There's a proper, like, I don't disagree with it, outcry for transparency in this particular world. So has it all been hunky-dory for me? Am I a person who bought 20 evals, upgraded them to 20 performance accounts, and traded, and did perfect? No, not at all, folks. Not at all. I mean, I've been doing this since 2023. I've had really good patches. I've had degenerate patches. I've blown out a lot of accounts. At one point in time, I was letting you guys trade my accounts for me. I was doing Rumble versus YouTube. So if you're looking for a dude who hasn't had an astonishing amount of blowouts from doing dumb shit, I mean, I wish I was your guy, but I'm not your guy. I'm just not, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I've done dumb stuff over the past 3 years. Sometimes it was for the point of letting you guys trade my accounts, Rumble versus YouTube, or testing out strategies. Sometimes I was, I'm trying to even think, I guess getting tilted, poor trading. I went on a big tilt patch when I blow out on my accounts March of last year, when I almost got the other $1 million payout and I fumbled it. That put me in a really bad headspace where I was just doing a bunch of degenerate shit. And then on the flip side of that, then there's times where I seem like I know what I'm doing. And I would say actually since the start of this year, I feel like I've been pretty dialed in, honestly. There was one day 2 weeks ago where I felt pretty tilted, but that was more so in the world of options trading, and that cost me a lot of money. That cost me like $25K. But once again, that was in the world of options trading. I'm trying to think of anything else. Easy money has been made today. Looks like that's it for me. Gonna go touch some sand. Dude, congrats to you. I don't think it's really been easy money thus far because we had a nice trend that gave itself completely back. It wasn't even a higher low. It was in the Qs, but it wasn't in the SPY. And now the new trend's really not going. But hey, whatever your system is, if you found it to be easy money today, congrats to you. Don't forget the Magic 8-ball trades. Oh yeah, and I had the Magic spinning wheel and we were doing tarot cards. So like, I don't know. I mean, I see people with followings on the internet getting dunked on because they've had hundreds, if not thousands of accounts. And I guess you have to put me on that list because I too have done dumb shit that has caused me to have thousands of accounts in this game. But I didn't know that was against the rules. It's not against the rules. If it was that big of an issue, you would think that these prop firms at a certain point would stop selling you evals. So inherently having a large amount of evals and funded account by itself is not indicative of doing something wrong, at least in the way that I see it, because if it was, at a certain point, they would just stop selling you the accounts. But right now there is a pushback on social media that that's not necessarily replicable from your average person because the average person can't spend that much money. And while that is true, it's also inherently wrong because I don't know of any influencer who out of the gate is saying you should spend that much. You get to spend that much, $10, $20, $30,000 a month by starting small and growing the operation. That's one of the coolest things about the sim to funded space is the scalability of it. If you're trading well on one account and actually doing it consistently, like actually following the rules, I guess I should preface it with that, then why not do that with 10 accounts? Why not do that with 20 accounts? Why not do that with 30, 40, 50 accounts? If you are trading well, of course you want to scale it up. So obviously as you scale it up, that's how your monthly spend should scale up. But I want to be clear. I don't think anyone should start there. Like, I think that would be a horrible misstep and a clear waste of money to come out of the gate without proving it to yourself that you can get payouts. So I just want to be clear. Thanks for the transparency. When you first started your $1 million account with your account size and how much did you risk per trade per day? I started with 50K accounts and I had 15 of them. Well, technically I had 20. And the 5 of the 20 blew out early on. And then the other 15 did well. So I had 20. I kept trading 15. They were all 50K. And in terms of how much was I going for, how much would I risk, I let the market tell me. I don't trade in a way where I have a set amount of risk or a set amount of profit. Every trading day is different. Some days your risk should be closer. Some days your risk should be farther away. Some days your profit target should be closer. Some day your profit target should be farther away. So I can't really answer that because I am a trend following trader. So I have to trade as long as the trend is intact. Sometimes the trend's not intact and it's a break even day and I make $100. Other days the trends are huge and I make $3,000 per account, $4,000 per account. So I can't answer that because I don't necessarily agree with these people who are measured risk to reward traders. I know some of them are successful. I know many of them are not successful. So I'm not saying you can't be successful with it. I just think your life is easier understanding that the situation itself is dynamic. So why not be dynamic with the market? Opening SPY 0DT, trade 40% in the first 2 minutes. I was out done for the day. Hey, I mean, if you did that, congrats to you. All right, I'm hoping that this recent dip here at 1050 can hold because it's also the trend line breakout on the S&P 500. So putting together a little bit of technicals with a little bit of momentum, with a little bit extra of momentum, with a little bit of, hey, options flow is finally fucking picking up. Jesus, where's that been? You know what? Let's get some music. Let's go listen to that Irish jig again. What is this one? Shorting Molly. This is the basically the song of the day.
Rolled out of bed with a hangover head. Check the chart, that bastard's red. Bought the dip with a crooked grin. Now the whole damn thing's running again. Suit on TV says panic and hide, but panic's for fools on the losing side. I lit a smoke and slammed by more while the bulls kick down the market door. Hear the bastards yell its doom, but the green keeps filling the room. If the candle dips, we load the gun and fire that bastard till it runs. We're making green tonight, boys. Drunk on risk and market noise. Raise a pint to the filthy scene. Rob the street and
Hell
call
yeah,
it
dude.
green.
If this doesn't help the market, I don't know what will.
We'll drink their tears while making green. Connor bed rent on a Friday call. Now he drinks like a king at the pub hall wall. Bears keep crying.
Man, we keep running into a wall at 25,090. That's like the third or fourth distinct time we got rejected at 90. If we go up there again, which is a big if, I'll move my stop to break even.
Hear the traders curse and shout, but the money keeps pouring out. If the dip comes down like rain, we'll buy that bastard up again. We're making green tonight, boys. Drunk on risk and market noise. Raise a pint to the filthy scene. Rob the street and call it green. Let the candles scream and lean. We'll drink their tears while making green.
Lower highs, higher lows.
Bulls kick in the market gate. Bears get tossed out drunk and late. Every bastard in between wants a taste of dirty grain. Throw the rule book in the fire. Feed the charts and climb them higher. If the whole damn thing carries, at least we died making green. We're making green tonight, boys. Raise the roof with market noise. Drink it down till the screens go clean. Long live the lads who ride the green. Oi! Let the candles scream obscene. We'll rob the street and call it green.
I like these green suits. That's pretty sick. All right, this one is called Pump and Dumps Dopamine Dreams. By the way, if you want this music, it is free. Go to Tendies and Tunes. It is free. Every song you listen to on this channel, we put out there. Just music for traders.
Does your memory glitch when I'm in the red? Do my losses taste like
Rest in peace, Turbo Trades. Yeah, we have some drama there. Apparently, Tory Trades was found out to be a scammer once again for like the 18th time. I haven't really looked much into it, but it's just... I get the demand for transparency, folks. Damn. Are we gonna go? This is why it's not an A+ setup. The SPY is getting no delta follow through. It's just a bunch of call selling all day. The 0 DTE is the green line. We're just trending down. We're just right here. The green line is the delta of 0 DTE SPX calls, and just no one is buying calls. And actually puts were getting bought for a bit, and then they bounce back. But it's just, it's not really bearishness that we're seeing in the market. It's a lack of bullishness. Like, just people are not aggressively buying this dip, at least as of 11:02 this morning. Of course, it could change, but puts were being bought. They stopped, but this whole time just calls being sold. Actually, at this point right now in real time, this is the most amount of call selling we've seen all day. It's the lowest delta rating. So it's what we're seeing is not bearishness. It is a lack of bullishness. Definitely a lack of bullishness. Bitcoin, holy cow. You guys seeing this in Bitcoin? 73.5 up to 75 like no other. Dude, Bitcoin looking good. Wow. Bitcoin showing a little bit of life. Well, people, I guess what? Money's just rotating into old BTC here? This one's called Insider Trading. How fitting. All right, is SPY going to hold this trend line breakout? Try to get going, kind of walk down it. Not a confident breakout. Bitcoin. Definitely showing a little bit more life. Oil is showing a bit of weakness, which you think would be a bit more bullish for equities, but I guess all that enthusiasm is getting pushed right into Bitcoin. Nice pop there. I do like the daily setup here. Just so beat up, slowly trending, getting the flip. I'm back to break even. I wonder if I should have bailed. It's just like it didn't push enough for me to actually go break even. So okay, SPX, the S&P 500 is potentially breaking down from its consolidation. Lower highs, higher lows, but we're snapping right here. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. Before we did find quite a bit of support around 32, support. So watching that, it is the high from 2 days ago. Watching this zone, look at, it's just call, well, no, now it's calls being sold and puts being bought. So we are removing positive delta and adding negative delta. So that's not so good. We just could not recover. So the lack of bullishness is still there. And then just recently it turned into a little bit of bearishness. And that's why we're getting a little bit. I'm not completely sold on this breakdown just because we found so much support. But just to comment on what's going on. Looking at the NASDAQ, same thing. Lower highs, higher lows. Try to get going. No real success. And a breakdown, I guess we could watch. This low seems important. Obviously, this low is very important. And then I would say, what is this high? That high is important. So couldn't get above 90. Couldn't get above 44. And now we're seeing the options flow take a hit. NASDAQ never really got its holding. But Mag 7 did. I thought this would lead us to the promised land. We had a nice pop in the Mag 7 from 1017 to 1037. There was 20 minutes of the Mag 7, the combination of Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla working. It just no follow through. There's really just not much of anything going on, honestly, at the moment. My play was slightly green, then it was break even. Now I'm slightly red. The question is, do I want to give it a second, or do I just want to get out and say, hey, today is not the day? I do have a bullish position. I was hoping that we'd get some sort of something. Maybe we'll pop back up in. I'd feel better. Obviously, I wanted to take out. If we can take out this high from 1049, I'd feel pretty good. But I think in the meantime, even recovering above 40 would be nice. Recovering above 8. Like, it's just look at this wall. 90. Smack, 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 smack. Right to selling. Is it going to officially knock me out? I'm watching. We're dipping now, folks. We're dipping now. We're right back at that 50% IB. like I said, that IB trade, the taking the directional trade at the 50% retracement, it can be a good trade. I think by itself, it's fine. But I think there are many, many ways to improve it. So I wouldn't trade it out of the box like that necessarily. I would spend a little bit of time doing some research, either with your own backtesting software or with AI or something like that. But we'll see. What are we doing right now? It is taking a bit of a hit. Shit. 5 minutes still bullish though. So it's 10 minutes. So it's 30 minute. 5 minutes still bullish. 10. Yeah. So 5 minute and above is all bullish, but it's also maybe a little quote unquote fictitiously bullish from the contract roll. The contract roll is making it seem a little bit more optimistic maybe than it should be. Okay, I'm watching this. Like, folks, similar to yesterday, thus far, we're getting a bunch of nothing. A bunch of nada. We are not trending up. We are not trending down. We were trending up overnight, and then that trend was lost. And from here, I gave the upper hand to the bulls because we had a push this morning, but we had a lack of follow through, a lack of call buying, and thus far it is netting out to a bunch of absolute nothingness. So if you decide to trade, obviously make sure to keep your risk in control because we don't have a nice identified trend. Maybe scalp trading is your friend today. Maybe I try to identify what the trend is and just getting out for a couple points here and there. That might be a strategy. Or it might be a strategy to recognize that we're not trending and it's almost lunch. So maybe you say, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. And if I do decide to trade, I'm going to wait for the lunch period to end and come back at 1, 2 p.m. this afternoon and see if there's a nice trend to be taken advantage of at that point. But for right now, I'm still in my long. My risk hasn't been hit quite yet. Maybe buyers step in. If it goes much further, I'm obviously going to ditch it and get the hell out because we're just not getting a nice trending day. But it happens. It happens. And tying this back to some of the previous conversation of this idea of always going for the same amount of reward or the same amount of risk per day. No, I don't think that's appropriate because not all trading days are built the same. Some days you have a nice trend and you should ride it as long as you can. And other days it's just absolute crap and maybe you're just lucky to be break even. So I think treating them differently. But thus far today is very similar to yesterday where it's just a bunch of nothing, a bunch of nada. I hope it does change this afternoon. I hope we get a beautiful breakout to the upside and we follow through and get a push to really what I want to see is a big push up to this positive gamma node at 6770, 6775. I want to see a nice bullish follow through to there. So basically this trend line, I'm looking for a breakout of that and a follow through. That's what I would like to happen. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but that's what I would very much like to happen. This price action is lame AF, dude. Right there with you, but we're not in control of that fact, folks. We're just in control of where do we decide to trade? How do we manage our risk? And remember, you can't force anything to happen. But right now, as equities are getting hit, Bitcoin's turning and oil's catching a little bit of a pop. So I wouldn't be so surprised if maybe there was a little bit of military updates or something like that. So, but right now, it's to that point where I almost want to just remind everyone, take a breather. You don't have to be trading. You definitely don't have to be trading with size. But when you see this choppiness, just wait for however you define trend. There's no perfect definition of trend, but wait for this to actually start trending. And other than that, you don't really have to be doing anything. You could just sit there, set alerts on your phone, set alerts on your computer. But trading in an environment when you know you shouldn't be trading, we've all been there before. It's a type of mental purgatory. Try to not get caught up in that. Anyway, folks, before you go, shout out to Apex, 85% off with code Goonie. Shout out to Lucid. I like the Lucid Flex, 50% on your first 2 accounts with that code Goonie. And if you want to trade with me, GoonieTrading.com, pinned to the top of chat and in the description of the video. Folks, I do appreciate all the good vibes. I'm hoping that the luck of the Irish still kicks in today and the afternoon trading is a much better session. Thus far, it's a bunch of nothingness, but hey, maybe that means that we're going to have a bunch of something nothingness a little bit later on. So for right now, please don't force the trades. Please don't oversize. Please keep your risk in check and basically be disciplined. If your trade signal is not firing, if your system is not telling you to trade, don't trade. Other than that, just you gotta understand that most of trading, unfortunately, is doing a bunch of nothing. That is honestly going to be most of your time as a trader. And not only yesterday, but today is seemingly one of those situations. So it's going to happen. And when things are boring and lame, don't let them spiral from a bunch of nothingness to you somehow doing something stupid and actually losing a bunch of money, especially in a choppy, shitty environment. It is okay to do nothing. Remember that. It is okay to sit on your hands. That's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. We'll be posting content later on today, and then we're going to be streaming tomorrow morning. We're actually going to have a double show tomorrow. We're going to have the normal morning show and then the FOMC show in the afternoon. So get ready for that. Remember, the FOMC decision is tomorrow, and obviously, we're going to be seeing how that type of craziness plays out. So that's what I have for you. Best of luck. I hope you crush it. I appreciate all the good vibes. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.